Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and I'm sitting in my kitchen window having coffee in the morning. It's not too early though, so there would have been more hummingbirds here. Easy, it's okay. It's okay. All right, it would have been more hummingbirds here a few hours ago. They start at like 5:30 in the morning, and they are just loaded in the window here. Yes, that's the hook where that hummingbird had a nest for 2 years. The third year she came back and she took it apart and she went just around the corner there. That's all she did. She went around the corner and built it on the cable. But for 2 years, she nested there. That was the first feeder. A lot of you have asked about my feeders. So let's go over some of the feeders this morning as I sit here, and then I'm gonna go back out in the garden and get some work done. I cut the screen. Let me open the window. I cut the screen. You can probably see that kind of a tape across it. And what I did was I hot glued another piece of screen so it would just hang down. I fixed it over the years. I had it one way and it was really bad, so I redid it. But that's cut and it's hot glued to the frame. So the screen frame on the window back there is still on, but it's got now a flap is what it is. And then it just kind of sticks on the bottom so it doesn't blow in, and it works. That's all I can say is it works. And then you've got the hook, and the hook can swing in. So I can just lift the screen, swing it in, and then drop the screen back down. When she went to nest, when the babies got older, I didn't want to change the feeder because the babies don't know me, and I didn't want to take any chances of them leaving the nest early. So I put another feeder here. So I put another rod here. Well, no, I shouldn't say a rod. I put the hook. And then over the years, over the past couple years, I've had to add more and more. So it started with one feeder on that far back window where the hummingbirds are right now that you see. And then I added in another one here so she could feed here. Then I had to add on another rod. See the rod? You can see the rod with another feeder. And then this year, see, I'm trying to hold the window screen up. There's another rod here. I don't know if you can see that right here. I attached another rod, so I've got a rod going that way. So I've got 3 going off of this one hook now. It doesn't swing anymore, but that's okay. It's all zip tied up there. It works. Then the hooks. Oh, a few of you have asked about the hooks. Let me see if we can see the hooks. See the hooks up there? Can you see the hooks? Maybe you can't. Let me get out the window for a minute. Okay, see the hooks? This is basically as far as I can reach. I can just get you right up there. So I put in a nail, and then Gary went ahead and said we need a hook. So this is as far as he could reach to this one without taking a chance of falling down the second story. So we've got 4 hooks, but I'm only using 2. I'm using that one and I'm using that one. This one's got nothing. This one just hangs there. So I can always put another feeder or something on. I just put the wire there. So I've got a PVC pipe with a wire going through it, and I can hang a feeder there. And then I've got another feeder on this hummingbird hook, see, there. I'm really confusing you, I'm sure. And then another feeder on this side. So I've got 3, 1, 2, 3 on there. Then this other hook that I'm using right now, that blue hook that comes down here, another one of these hummingbird feeder hooks, and that's got 1. And then I've got, of course, these here. That's why I had to add on another one back there. Let me close this up. Oh, and then the window. Oh, so many of you wanted to know. Let me just trying to do this all with the phone. Okay, let's see if you can see. Here, that's a curtain rod. One of those that you twist, and it's on a spring load. So I took a piece of screen. This frame is not in here. I took the screen completely out of this window, and I hot glued or sewed. Actually, this is sewn on by hand. I can see that now, I forgot. I sewed on like a lip so I could slide the rod in. So there's a place where I can slide the rod in there, and then it just fits in there. Does it fall out? Yeah, it fell out the other day, and the hummingbirds were flying in, and I had to leave it off, get them all out, and then put it back on. So that hangs, and then on the bottom here, this is just a metal pipe I found. Did the same thing. See, I just made another seam so I can slide something in there, like a curtain or something, like a shower curtain or whatever they have a seam, so I can slide the pipe in. And then this wire that I've got hooked on to the window, see that there? That's so if it's windy, it will hold it, the screen won't blow. So I just move it out of the way, and I can roll it up. If I wanted to go live, I can roll it up and have the window open so you could see it better. And then you'd say, well, then you really have a room full of hummingbirds. Yes, but see what I did here? Let me see if I can turn them on a chair. Same thing here. Did the same window this way. The screen's been taken out, and that's got a window rod in there too on the very top, and then another small pipe on the bottom, a smaller one. This whole area on top has got netting. So I can drop the netting down, and then this breakfast room area would be completely netted in. So if the hummingbirds did fly in, they just fly straight out this window because I roll them both up at the same time, and they actually make loops through. So that's it. So there's an Oriole. They feed too. See, they don't bother the hummingbirds too much. They come in and they feed all day. I try to keep the feeders with the bigger holes so they can feed out of them, but then we had the bees the other day. Probably a couple weeks ago now, the bees were coming in. And that takes a few days to get rid of them. I just switched the feeders over to ones that the bees could not get in. I like the ones with the real big holes. So I had to switch them all over, and once the bees realized, it took a few days that they could not get in, then they left. I've got a peanut butter cup here too that they use, and I've got some dots out the window as well. Now, I make my own holes in a lot of these hummingbird feeders that come from Walmart. So I make them a little bit bigger with a knitting needle or a soldering iron. But if you go too big, then the bees can reach. The whole idea is if the bees can reach the sugar water. If they can't reach it, they don't have a long beak, then they'll go on their merry way. So if you make the holes too big, then they can stick their head in, and then they can reach. But yeah, I swapped the feeders out, and that got rid of the bees. Gary also took a hummingbird feeder and he put it by his beehives in case it was his bees. So I don't know. It might have helped. I'm not sure. We have a lot of beehives around here. Not just ours. We have one beehive, but a lot of people have lots of beehives. And look at all the hummingbirds. And this is nothing right now. This is absolutely nothing. In the morning, it is every seat's full. They come in the morning. They start at 5:30 in the morning. And then by 9, they're pretty much gone. It's 11 o'clock now. But by 9, they're gone. They're into the yards, and plus it's hot, so they're looking for cooler places. And that's what goes on every morning. So I've got to go through and I bring one at a time in, scrub them and clean them, and then fill them up. And this goes on all day. I make a half a gallon at a time. So it's 2 cups of sugar mixed with 8 cups of water, and I add in, I bring the tea kettle to a boil, and then I add in about a cup of boiling water, and as soon as the sugar starts to melt, then I add the rest in of cold water, and it works. I want to get the sugar melted quick because usually I'm in a big hurry. And yes, I put Christmas lights out there for multiple reasons. In the winter, sometimes if they don't get enough to eat, they're desperately looking for food, so I can turn on the Christmas lights, and they will feed, even though it's not quite completely dark yet, they can see, and then they dart back into the bushes here. That's the orange trees and the hibiscus to sleep. So they get a little bit extra light. And on top of that, they use it for perches. And then this thing, let me stand up. I don't even know what it is. I found this in Gary's garage. Some sort of rubber coil. I don't know what it's for. And I strung it across. And that's there because it rained one day. It rained one day. And I wanted something more for them to sit here because this is under the eaves. See that bird that nested there years ago? She was out of the element. She never had any sun. No sun ever gets there. And she didn't have any rain. And it's really sheltered even from the wind, the way the design is here in this corner of the house. But I put that there so the birds can perch on it, so they use it. This part of the window will get sun in about 2 to 3 hours. It will get sunny, but it's not going to come into the house. It will be sunny there. But as we go into fall and into winter, then there'll be more sun. So what I'm going to do is keep the feeders kind of on the low side, and then it'll get really hot. They can continue to feed out of that one over there that stays in the shade. And then the sun drops over here. It only stays here for a couple hours, and then I start to refill them. Dump them out, refill them. I don't really have to dump them out. They'll be empty. But see the sun is, see how the sun is creeping? The sun will creep up, but it will only get to this here, but it never gets to over there where she built a nest. Okay, then we've got here, same thing on how I did that window. It's got the, I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can, because this valance doesn't come off. So let's see where my camera is. Okay, I see where my camera is, sorry. See the rod? It goes across, and that's just attached with zip ties, actually. I didn't sew anything. I should have. And then I put a hook here. So this lifts up too, same thing. And I clip it with these clips so the screen doesn't blow in when I don't want it open. This is one that swings, and I attached the second one because I had one feeder and one feeder was not enough. So I added in another feeder. And then of course, let's unclip this here so you can see. That's the deck. And that's the hummingbirds that are there right now on the deck. That is the ice cream containers. See that? They love their ice cream containers. And those take literally, I would say, less than 5 minutes to make. So check out the video if you want to make them. They love them. They can sit on the edge and everything. The holes are small enough where the bees cannot get in, but the orioles still can. They sit on there and eat. And the reason the ice cream containers are sitting in trays right now is the ants have been getting in them. So if they're on a tray with water, then the ants can't get in. See? That's an oriole there, see? Look at that. You get to see that. Now they may start to empty them, so I may have to go fill them. I'll have to check. Because he landed on the blue one and then he went to the red one. Isn't that cool? This goes on all day. They love the ice cream containers. When they're empty and I have all the other hummingbird feeders in the window full, the hummingbirds will follow me around and they'll be beep, 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 making all their noise because they love, absolutely love their feeders. Isn't that cute? That's a young oriole. The young ones are so curious. They learn from the hummingbirds, and the other day I had a real baby oriole in the window, and he couldn't figure out how to feed out of a hummingbird feeder. He was banging on the plastic sides. He was checking the top out and everything. Yeah, that's a male on top. Isn't that cute? And he couldn't figure out how to drink. Ooh, he's in charge. Okay, now there's something in the blue one. He's getting something. Isn't this fun? Then, of course, they take a bath in that cup. Not only do they take a bath in the cup, I've got a video, it's absolutely amazing, of 2 of them in the bowl. Not even that bowl. The other one that was deeper, I changed the bowl out, not for any particular reason. Just put a different bowl right now. Okay, let's bring this back in. So that's what's going on here every day. And then again, I clip it. I keep this well clipped. So let me make sure we're zoomed out. Okay, I zoomed in. I keep that clipped. So this way the screen can't go anywhere. Otherwise, it does get windy in the canyon, and it's really a nice area to sit because you can see the city lights. You can see across the canyon. It's really pretty. Really, really. Look at all the hummingbirds are coming back in immediately because the oriole's gone. You probably can't see through the screen. I just love it. Yeah, I mean, they'll step aside the hummingbirds when the orioles come in like that. But boy, that is their favorite. That's just their favorite feeder. They like peanut butter cups too. I brought them in. I've washed them. I got to put them back out. I go through this every morning. They're going, why has she got a camera out the window? It's kind of an odd camera. I know, this is my cell phone. I'm testing my cell phone. I'll tell you what happened. I got a brand new cell phone. I haven't used it for a few days, and I went and did a vlog. And when I did the vlog, I see a dot. Why do I see a dot? I couldn't upload the videos. Took 2 hours with Apple on the phone with me to upload the videos. And then, let me close the window. I saw a ripple. And they never told me. They just kept saying, well, let's update the phone. Let's do this. Let's do that. So I went on the YouTube to see what the ripple was. And the ripple is not good. So we'll see. It's brand new. I told them I'm not going to have it fixed when the phone hasn't even been with me for 14 days. So they said they're going to give me a new phone. So we'll see what happens. but it rippled. So I figured, you know what, before I swap it, I did, you know, where you didn't do a reset on it, but we shut it off and did all that. I figured I'd test it, see if I can upload this. And so this is gonna be about 15 minutes. And then I'll see how that works. And if there's no ripples anymore and I can upload it, then maybe I won't worry about it and they won't have to exchange it, because Apple does cover their phones anyways for a year. But this is actually something that happened right, you know, from day one. So we'll see what happens. That's it. So I wanted to show you what goes on in here. Oh, let me step out for a minute. I'll show you something. Let me move. I was sitting on a chair. So this is a breakfast room that I turned into an area where I can do my projects. I'm working on different projects. And this is where I step in there and do the hummingbird feeders every day. That, by the way, is a green cheek. Okay, it's the one that's all different colors. So it's a mutation green cheek. And I move her in here so she can look out the window and enjoy the hummingbirds. And there will never be any sun. So if I forgot and went outside and gardened, there was no sun this time of the year. Now come October, the sun will come through here, and then I've got to make sure I pull these over. I made these too. Let me show you this. This isn't curtains. These are boards, plastic boards, and they're covered in that fabric I got at the thrift store. And Gary likes them, but I think I'm changing them out again. So we'll see. But I can slide that across, and then there's no way for any sun to get here if I wanted to move her. That is not a regular cage. She has a bigger cage. That's just her, well, you could call it a travel cage, but it's more of like an afternoon cage. So she can sit here and watch the hummingbirds. And let's go through my messy kitchen. This is where the hummingbird nested. See, this does swing in when I move the screen. See how it swings? They're going, what's going on? And then, of course, there's the hummingbird feeders. And I've got my little Wise Cam. So if I'm in the yard or I'm somewhere, I can always check with the Wise Cam to make sure that all these feeders are full. Even though there's other feeders, this is their favorite. And then this is where I grow all my stuff, my seeds. Start a lot of seeds here. And that's that. So that's basically it. I thought I'd just share that with you. You could call it what you want. You can call it my hummingbird studio, but it isn't. It's just a good place where I can get things done and work on projects, which I am working on, and then enjoy the hummingbirds at the same time, and have a chair that I can sit down and watch the hummingbirds and feed them and do everything I need to. And Kitty's outside. I should bring her in for a minute because she was barking before. But that's it. So let me go bring Kitty in so you can see her, and then I'm going to end this vlog. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. You want to say bye-bye? Hey, Kitty, were you outside? Come here. You guys really make my floor dirty. It looks worse on video than it does in person.